All right, folks, welcome back into Lemoyne Field as we got Game 2 just about to get underway here at Post University. Cody Shalfu on the call. We thank you for joining us. Post and AIC battled to a 4-1 Post victory, one of the best games they've played all season. It's their second win of the year, and AIC drops down to 3-12 on their year, and that's now 7 games in a row where they scored 1 or less runs. And trying to add a couple more to the lineup cards on Game 2. Let's meet the lineup as first pitch is low for ball 1. It's going to be Brianna Salazar, second baseman, batting off. Romalo is going to be in center field. Lauren Romalo. Morgan Beaumont will bat third, play shortstop again. Number 12, Marilyn Augusta will be in right field. Nevaeh Trejo will be at third base. Macy Burns will be at first base, batting sixth. Kayla Doucette moves up the lineup to 7 and DPing. Number 7, Belen Benito will be behind the ditch. Number 17, Galilea Pedraza Peta will be in left field, batting ninth, and then pitching will be Lambert. Gabrielle Lambert will get the start here in game number 2. And apologize, I literally got the lineups a second ago. So we're going to be writing that in as Salazar did get on with the bunt base knock. A much different lineup as a strike is finally called. And Romalo, who didn't get a hit in Game 1, will get one here in Game 2. She goes right back up the middle into center field, and she is on. That brings up Beaumont. Beaumont from Peterborough, New Hampshire, was all state in high school while playing basketball and soccer. High for ball 1. The pitcher in game number 2 is going to be Megan McGurk. ERA that starts with 15 in 15 innings pitched. A batting average against of 482 and has given up 2 singles here. A bunt single. And now finally the first out is a sack. So the first out moves the runners up, so it's runners on second and third. Just one gone in the inning. It's Augusta, her first crack at things in this one. Didn't play in game 1. Pop straight up. DeBona at third base there to get it. It's basically the same exact lineup as we saw. Searles in left field, Calabrese in center, Martinez in right, DeBona, Olivers, Sapia, and Scaglia around the horn with Jones catching. The only difference is no Caitlin Lipsky, who was awesome in the first try at things. And this will find the turf in the outfield. 1-run score. Second one right behind her. Throw to the plate is offline. And 2-run single for Trejo, who had a single and scored a run in game 1. Now officially puts 2 on the board for AIC. First time they've done that in a few weeks. So empties the bases, couple of runs already across, and not a great start for Post. To third, DeBona had some trouble with it. We'll see if they decide error or hit. It's always hard to score. They are going to say single for Burns. Another hit for her on the day. Had at least one in game one. Always hard to kind of judge everything on the infield with how, as DeBona misses it, it's lined right at her. I'm sure that's going to be a hit as well. It's just right down the offense. Looks a lot different to begin the first inning here than they did at any point in game one. And McGurk hasn't had the best of seasons to start, and it continues here as already two have come across, and with 2 outs, single, single, single. Bases now reloaded. And a lot of first pitch swinging as well. It's going to be the catcher, Benito. And this time will be caught. DeBona gets a second opportunity at it and gloves it, but 2 do come around to score. We will see what the offense has for Post as they take their first cracks in game 2. Home half of the first underway, and pretty much the same exact lineup for Post. And we'll get into that right now. It's going to be Gabrielle Lambert on the mound, the righty. First pitch is swung on to third base. Trejo over to Burns, and that's 1 pitch, 1 out. That was Isabella Oliver, who had a nice day in game 1. Alexandra Biscaglia at first base. Haley DeBona at third. Nyla Sappi at second. Alyssa Calabrese in center. Cindy Jones catching. Bailey Rule, designated player. Tatiana Martinez in right field. And Hannah Searles in left field. And again, pretty much carbon copy, cut and paste lineup from game 1. I'll take on the numbers for Gabrielle Lambert, as we thought she might have been warming up in Game 1, but no, they were saving her here for Game 2. Picks up a strike on the inside edge. Lambert, 2.86 ERA in her sophomore season here. 44 innings pitched, has 3-5 record, or 2-5 record, excuse me. This is going to hit off the base and get through. A single into center field for Bisceglia. 25 runs, 18 earned, 14 walks, 15 Ks, a 272 batting average against for the Glastonbury, Connecticut native studying occupational therapy at AIC. But a single for Bisceglia. And the first base runner of Game 2 is on for the Eagles. Bring up DeBona. And right at first base, Burns will hit the bag in an unfortunate double play to end things here in the first. Quickly go the Eagles as 3 up, 3 down technically, facing the minimum is Lambert. We'll be back in just a moment. Thank you. So it was a whole bunch of batters to bat in that first inning. And now we start with Galilea Pedraza Peta, who did not get an at-bat in Game 1. We'll see what she has up her sleeve to second base. Up and over to first goes Sapia. And 1 up, 1 down here to start the second. It was single, sacrifice, pop out. Then 2-run single, L5 is how that rough first inning from McGurk went. And it's Brianna Salazar for the second time today. Bunted her way on. And this time we'll just do it the old-fashioned way, a liner through the left side right past DeBona. Bring it Ramalu, went right up the middle. Again, a homecoming of sorts for her, a Naugatuck native. Not too far away from Lemoy Field. Well, came into play today, just a 200 hitter. Studying criminal justice, all-state while in high school, with an NET all-rookie team selection. Her first season a couple years ago. Hit and run action is going to go into right field, and much like how those two at-bats went in the first innings, back-to-back singles for Salazar and Romalo here in the second. And McGurk hasn't been great this year, and it can get late early if things keep going this way for Megan McGurk, who just hasn't quite seemed to have found any sort of rhythm this season so far. Beaumont on the ground. Over to second base, and the flip over the head of Sapia is going to drive in a run. Oliver should have just tagged the bag. It would have been the only real way they could have possibly turned two. And it's falling apart for Post early on. It's going to be a fielder's choice E6. So it won't be an earned run. And 1 down, 2 on. Should have been easy, just step on the bag and try for first instead of potentially 2 outs, and at least a runner that's not in scoring position. It scores a run and keeps the outs at just 1. Pop straight up. Jones dishes the mask and will catch it. And Post, without their probably most dangerous offensive player, Angelica Tompkins, who's hitting slightly above 400, by far the best batter in that regard. Either side has a wild pitch, advances the runners. Turns on the fastball inside and dumps it past the seating to the right field or left field line. So now both runners in scoring position. Struck on the run and making the catch in left field is Searles. So only 1 scores on the error, and all honesty, not too terrible for Post, but they still give up another run and find themselves down 3 early on here in the second. To our right here, just beyond center and left field, we have both the men's soccer team and some members of the men's football team getting some work in the off season for both of those sports. Men soccer team at least lost in the championship games in the CACC, looking to return and pick up another trophy to add to what's probably one of, if not the best program here on campus, the men's soccer program. First at bat for Sapia here in game 2. Nyla transfer from St. Thomas Aquinas College, a graduate who usually a third baseman. Is playing second base today. 2-time All-Conference and county champ while playing volleyball in high school. Leans out of the way, but in there for a strike nonetheless. It's 2-2. High for a ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Both in a hold here to begin. AIC giving themselves a 3-run lead. Now on the ground, is it fair? Yes, it is. Down the line, and she can run for a bit. Sapia hits first, digs for second, and in there standing up with a down-the-line double for Nyla Sapia. Full count as well. Able to work that at bat. So runner in scoring position for Calabrese. First pitch popped directly up. Is it playable? And taking the scenic route to it is Benito, and she misses it. Kind of ring around the rosy trying to find it. Usually catchers will ditch the mask. She stayed suited up. So a new lease on life for Calabrese, and watches ball 1 go by. Alyssa from Oakville, Connecticut, studying psychology, was academic all-conference. Takes a strike. 2-time all-conference, also honored with an all-state selection in high school as well. Now on the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cody Shalfo on the call. We thank you for joining us. Game 1 was a post-victory, 4-1. You can find that one on playback on either YouTube or the CACC network. As strike 3, swinging. First out of the inning for strikeout for Lambert. And there was Sydney Jones, who homered in Game 1 to get the party started for Post. It was a big 5th inning for them where they saw 8 come to the plate, 3 runs score on a bevy of singles. Just 1 extra base hit, 2 extra base hits. The other one was a big single in that 5th inning by Skeglia. So other than those 2 extra base hits, just a singles parade for both sides. Only 3 hits given up by Post in that one. Waits on the changeup, watches it go down. It's high, not playable though. This will hit off the light stanchion right behind the dugout. This one's high and misses just about everything, as moving up into third base, Sapia. Wild pitch, both pitchers now with a wild pitch on the day. Jones can help out our case again and watches that one go by. It is a 2-2 count now. 3-2 count, full count. Keeping alive, Jones, a nice at-bat brewing. And time is granted as Jones wants to step out, think it over. Opening day in baseball today, the Yankees and the Giants on Netflix because that's super easily accessible for everybody. And Major League Baseball does it again. So it's that time. I mean, it's always fun getting into the swing of things with college softball and baseball. I get to call. Tomorrow's the real deal, Holyfield. Tonight's a big night as well. Baseball is finally back. Giants put out their lineup card, and Elliot Ramos will be starting in left field today, which for a lot of people are like, yeah, that makes sense. He's probably their best left fielder. But the first time in 19 years in which the Giants will start someone in left field in back-to-back years. Also, last year was their first 30-home-run season they got from a player, as Willie Adames just hit 30 home runs since Barry Bonds in 2004. So the Giants, there's a lot of stuff going on over there, and it's crazy to think of how successful they've been. They went through 3 World Series championships in 5 years, and all 5 years a different player started in left field on opening day. Sprint to the home plate is safe. Post gets in there as another wild pitch. Scorer Sapia. Moving up to second base is Jones. And ball 1 for Rule. Kind of wastes an RBI chance, but the first run of the game comes in for Post, which is nice. Strike 1 on Rule. But yeah, some crazy stats for how good the Giants have been, especially in those late 2010s, or most of the early 2010s, mid 2010s, that 6-7 year stretch where they were always a formidable had a year in 2021 where they won like 104 games, something like that, and then kind of was the last time the Giants have been relevant. But it's an interesting stat for sure. Baseball's chock full of them. For my Red Sox fans, they start up tomorrow night in Cincinnati. For my Yankees fans, I don't really care, but they'll be in San Francisco tonight. I did get Ben Rice in fantasy, though, so I don't completely hate you, Yankees fans. Full count, runner on second base, 1 gone, and that will miss off the plate. So a double strikeout and then back-to-back walks with a few wild pitches sprinkled in there. The second walk for Lambert, and now Post all of a sudden is one big swing away from being right back into this one. 3-1 their count. Or 3-1 the score, 3-2 was the count before the walk. Yeah, so he's already taken 13 at-bats on offense. It's always, again, like I said, always a fun time when baseball comes back. I'm a 162 kind of guy. I'll watch every single Red Sox game because I hate myself and I enjoy pain. Mostly. But second off, it's fun. You always know baseball is back when Uncle Dave gives you a call and says, let's bet on the first game. Me and my uncle for the last few years now bet $1. The Red Sox win, I get $1. The Red Sox lose, Uncle Dave gets $1. Uncle Dave loves betting against the Red Sox. Big Red Sox fan. He's that quintessential New England. They're going to break you hot this year. They're going to lose. They're all losers. I say, all right, Uncle Dave, you're right, but I'll take your dollar on opening day. And I do every year. There was one year when my grandmother grew up. This one's on the ground. They're going to look over to second base, take the easy one at first. During the summers, I would live with my grandmother during college, and she lived right next to my aunt and uncle. Every day I would see my Uncle Dave, and every day, or a lot of days, we would bet. There was one year, I think it was 2019, the year after the Red Sox won the World Series, we bet on the Red Sox games a lot, and every time I'd have to give my uncle $1. He wouldn't put the dollar in his wallet. He would tape it to the wall to show everybody how big of a loser I was. And that one summer, there was like $30 on the wall. He did take them all down and buy us a pizza. This one's going to go into left field. One run will score. They will hold rule at third and post on the board again. This time the old-fashioned way. As Jones comes around to score on the Searles single. But yeah, so very excited for baseball to be back. Excited to lose a bunch of my money again. I don't bet on actual sports other than just those little bets with my uncle. But one year I lost like $30-something, and then he took it all down and bought us all a pizza at the end of the year, or at the end of the summer, before I went back to school. But I always have fond memories of the Sox because of my Uncle Dave, and family is a big baseball family, like sports in general, but the Red Sox have always been special to us. And so always excited to have my mood be determined by 28 different guys all year. My girlfriend does not get it, nor will I think she ever will, and that's fine. To second base, Salazar, a smooth scoop to second, and the shortstop Beaumont covering. So a wild inning pitching-wise for AIC, but they do get out of it with the lead still. They strand a couple on, and we will be back 3-2 as Post picks up another one. For the third inning, we're through the second time through the lineup. It's going to be Burns, Doucette, Benito guaranteed to bat, barring any substitutions. 3-2 as Post picks up 2 in the bottom of the second. AIC has scored in each inning so far. Again, it's been a bit. You have to go all the way back if you look at AIC's schedule. We talked about the stat where they've had a bunch of games in a row scoring 1 or less runs. But you have to go against a win against Southwest Minnesota State in Florida, the last game of their Florida trip on March the 11th. They played them and Point Park University. They they split those games, scored 2 runs in each. You have to go back to a win against Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania on the 10th. To see the last time the Yellow Jackets scored over 3 runs in a game. Only done so 1, 2, 3, 4 times this season. Make it 5 now. As they lost game 1 against Post to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight games of under or 1 or less runs in a game to combine with their 7-game losing streak that they're looking to snap. Do have a slight 1-run lead and get the leadoff runner aboard yet again. And this will be a single for Burns, who's having a very nice day. 2 singles in this one. Last game, it was a single and a walk. Didn't quite get the chance to bat. It was on deck after Trejo struck out to end the game. And we are going to have a new pitcher. We'll give her leeway to warm up, but McGurk's day is most likely done. They're still responsible for the runner on first base, but we will be back in just a second here. So the new pitcher is going to be Devin Barnett. This is her 7th appearance. She does have 1 start, but the other 6 have all been out of the bullpen. 0-1 record, 10.50 ERA, a 2.76 WHIP, 12 2/3 innings pitched, 22 runs, 19 earned, 14 walks, 2 strikeouts. Probably going to be the big one right there. Is the only lefty on the staff. Has given up a home run, and batters are hitting .362 against her, which would go for the total of what Post usually gives up as a complete staff. So Barnett, as they're going to tempt Jones again. They stole a couple off Jones. Did he have a runner get thrown out? Michaela Doucette at the plate, designated player. And she has missed the zone by a considerable amount in all 3 pitches so far. Was getting some action in the bullpen to begin, or for different stretches of game 1. Didn't pull the trigger, didn't need to. Lipsky was pretty lights out for most of the day, and a 4-pitch walk given up. And we did talk about it just a moment ago. Those walk issues are probably the biggest sore spot on Barnett's pitching line for the season so far. Strike on Belen Benito. Lined out to end the first inning. It hit a frozen rope, but right at DeBona. Jones tries to frame it, no dice. Also, the first year the ABS challenge is getting introduced into Major League Baseball, which has been fun to see over spring training. Over the first couple of weeks, they were using it willy-nilly, every pitch basically. Now I think towards the end, now we're getting to the games that count. There will be a strategy. A lot of teams are saying pitchers aren't allowed to challenge. Catchers, I guess, against certain hitters or in certain situations can. Hitters, same thing. Certain hitters can't. Certain hitters can. Barnett fired up with her strikeout. Be interesting to see how that changes the game here. In the World Baseball Classic, Dominican Republic would like of the ABS challenge to be introduced. They would have, they might have won the whole thing if Mason Miller's slider that was a good 6 inches below the zone on Geraldo Perdomo, which was called a strike. If they challenged that, who knows what happens. I have a friend that went to that game as Galilea Pedraza Peta comes in. He said, easily the most electric baseball game he's ever been to. Two balls, no strikes here on Pedraza Peta. 1 out in the inning, 2-1, 3-2 AIC lead, American International College, trying to add another one. Yellow Jackets from Springfield, Massachusetts. A couple different colleges in Springfield. Obviously, a Springfield College, Western New England up there in Springfield. As another 4-pitch walk. Bases are drunk. In Waterbury, in AIC, top of the lineup. Salazar, third at bat in as many innings. Singled twice. Once a bunt, the other one a scorcher down the left field line. Takes ball 1 high. Straight up, but back. Some pedestrians getting out of the way there. High cheese, swing on and miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch is going to be slapped into right field. Martinez up and fire. Station to station they go. An RBI single for Salazar. Her third hit in as many tries. This one produces a run. Burns comes around to score. To set into third. Pedraza Peta into second. And Salazar sitting at first base with an RBI single in her back pocket. The AIC dugout getting animated, as most softball dugouts are. It's one of my favorite parts about the sport. It is constantly loud on both sidelines. As Lauren Romalo, already 2 singles in this one. Trying for a big hit here. Bases still loaded. 2 balls, 1 strike. In the third inning, Post already on their second pitcher of the game. Could use Lipsky again, but I'm sure they're going to want to not if they can avoid it. Calabrese has thrown some innings this year, and Rule has thrown some innings this year. That one into center field. Calabrese again, just next stop as both Romalo and Salazar, 3 at-bats, 3 singles. We have Calabrese and Rule, who both have an ERA in the mid-7s if you want to change things up as it sits right here. Calabrese still in center field, and they have a meeting on the mound. Barnett still, in the circle, excuse me. And just a players only talking. 5-2. AIC retakes the lead or expands the lead again. First pitch swinging is Beaumont. It was 0 for 1 today with a sacrifice bunt and a fielder's choice in which she reached after an E6. Does not get the zone. Jones asked where it missed, and it's 2-1. So another hitter's count. Throwing strikes has been an issue here for Post in Game 2. Barnett in danger of walking her third batter of the inning. Inning started with McGurk in the circle, gave up a leadoff single. Burns has scored, so that officially ends McGurk's day. And they walk in a run. Since Barnett came in, walk, strikeout, walk, single, single, walk. A lot going on. Not much good here for Post. Still needs 2 more outs. Bases juiced still. Salazar, Romalo, and Beaumont on base with Augusta up. Popped out twice, both in the infield. Strike called, finally. Shadow starting to get a little bit longer as we approach 5 o'clock here at 4:34 local time here in Connecticut. We thank you for joining us. Cody Shalafu on the call. A very fun and quick Game 1, and Game 2 is plodding along. Got started around 3:55-ish, 3:50-ish, a little bit before the 4 p.m. expected start time. And by this time, this amount of time in last game, we're already in like the 5th or 6th, and now we're in. On the ground, through! One will score, and again, just next man up. Another one-run single for AIC. They are not pushing it. They are keeping the pressure on. And Marilyn Augusta this time picks up the RBI base knock. That is Augusta's 3rd RBI. From Simi Valley, California, or Simi Valley. I said Valley, that's not a word. Simi Valley, California, exercise science major. And now 5 runs your lead. Cranked left field going back off the base of the wall. This will score more than one as 1 hits, 2 hits, and a long single for Trejo. And still just 1 out in the inning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batters straight have reached. And this one will produce 2 runs, an AIC 7-run lead. And we'll have a new pitcher. It'll be Rule. We'll be back in a second to go over her pitching stats, but not a great performance for Barnett, who's still responsible for the 2 runners on. We'll be back, see if Rule can get some outs. So it's going to be Macy Burns, who comes in and already messing up my scorecard. She's going to come in here for her second at-bat of the 4th inning. She singled and scored earlier. New pitcher on. This is going to be number 28, Bailey Rule, and it gets a roll over ground ball, but foul. Rule this year, pitching-wise, we've seen what she's done with the bat. 7.57 ERA, a 2.07 WHIP. 0-3 this year, a 2.0, 5-3 in terms of 6 appearances now, 3 starts, 20 in the 3rd innings pitched. Batter's hitting .355 against her. It's going up. 1 run will come across and score a RBI single for Macy Burns. And again, we still keep it going. As the 3rd inning just can't seem to end quick enough for Post, as they have given up 7 in this frame alone, have only received 1 out. This one's cranked deep and out of here. See you later, baseball. This one visited player Michaela Doucette, and if it wasn't a blowout before, it is now a blowout now, 13-2. A 3-run shot. On the bright side for Post, no runners on base. But that's about the only bright spot here is AIC putting a whooping on Post here as we're still in the 3rd. This officially marks the most runs AIC has scored in a game. Their highest scoring total before tonight was 7. They have 13, and we're not out of the 3rd inning yet. So to recap the inning, it's a Macy Burns single, a Michaela Doucette walk, and then a strikeout on Belen Benito. And she's going to roll one over, and she will be the first and the second out of the inning. Then a walk for Pedraza Zepeda, a single for Salazar, single for Romalo, walk for Beaumont, single for Augusta, single for Trejo, single for Burns, home run for Doucette, and now a second put out, a 1-3 out for Benito. And the 3rd out, ladies and gentlemen, has been recorded, but not before, I think, 13 batters come up, take some hacks. After 10 runs score, it is 13-2. Home half of the 3rd on the way. So the third inning, still not over yet. We got the home half now, as it is Skeglia, DeBona, and Sapia. So at least 3 of your top hitters to come up. 13-2, a crooked 10 spot. 3 pitchers in that inning. None of it's really great. Let's look at the final lines, as McGurk is going to go 2 innings, 31 pitches, 7 hits, 4 run, 4 earned, and faced 15 batters, no walks, no strikeouts. Barnett only got 1 out, 39 pitches, 4 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. And then Rule only threw a couple pitches, but in that time gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, and faced 4 batters. Lambert so far has faced 10 batters through 2 innings, give up a couple hits, a couple runs, but would have to get real ugly for her to come out of this game. Two count on Alexandra Skiglia. And this one lined right to Salazar. L4 and some insult to injury for Post. DeBona lined into a double play her first time up. One quite unfortunate outcome after tattooing a baseball. Or softball, excuse me. Cranks another one, another hard liner. Again, it's a sport of process over results. The results do matter at the end, but without good process, you kind of need that. So 2 mean lineouts, and then Sapia, who is 1 for 1 with a double, a run scored on a wild pitch. One of the lone bright spots here in Game 2. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Picks up the edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Flare, right field, caught in foul territory. So a cruel inning for Post, as give up 10 on the pitching side, and then 2 hard hit balls right at fielders in the third. There you go, down 1, 2, 3. Rule back out there for a fresh inning. Appreciate it. So for the 4th time in as many innings, we will see Salazar, Romalo, and Beaumont bat. again barring any substitutions. Salazar 3 for 3, 3 singles, 3 runs, 1 RBI. And some nice plays in the field, backs off the plate, and we'll take ball 1. Also, chat, the scorebook is cooked, as the kids say. We got to go into the next inning to make up for the at-bats, the 4 players that had multiple at-bats in the inning. Other way, diving quick, and it will be foul. So in college, I started actually keeping a book. There's, the scorebook that you see in the dugouts and the teams use. I also use one here in the broadcast. It helps me kind of keep all my information in front of me. And, some teams have better live stats than others, which Post has great live stats. I think the Sidearm website is perfect for that, but some schools don't have that. So keeping the book keeps me kind of concentrated in the game. It gives you something to do. It's nice. I always like Dick's Sporting Goods scorebooks. I think they're the best ones I've used. The only issue I have with them is you have to write a little small, which is, I guess, fine for me. I write small naturally. But they only give you 9 innings, and there isn't really enough room for error. So in baseball and softball, it's usually not that bad. You usually don't see too many games go past 9 innings. Baseball, there are a couple of times where I just kind of have to give up keeping track of stats in the 10th, 11th inning. Luckily, I haven't had too many extra inning games and too many games that went kind of beyond the first or second extra inning. But if you coach or if you do this like I do and want to keep a book, I recommend the Dick's Sporting Goods brand specifically, as finally Salazar is put away first out. Now everyone's a little bit different. I know a lot of the real broadcasters use the big book. I don't know. I think it has a name, but a lot of the major league broadcasters and minor league broadcasters and the super professional ones, I guess I'm technically a professional broadcaster. I get paid to do this, which makes it a profession. And we're going to start getting some substitutes as well, so we will give you those as they come through. But yeah, this is one of my favorite books to use. As the pitch hitter for Malo, whose day might be done, is going to be number 19, Maya Strumskis. We'll see if Strumskis stays in the game. This one is smashed. Calabrese has a track on it. She gets there. The freshman catcher has yet to record really any stat, so it might have been her first plate appearance. Hit one on the button, but we'll see again. She is listed as catcher. We'll see if she'll stay in the game or that just an at-bat for Romalo, and Romalo will be reinserted in. We'll have to can't let you know until we get there. So once we get there, I'll let you know. On a line, Calabrese, a 1-2-3 inning. And guys, I think the scorecard is saved. We'll be back for the bottom of the 4th. Still 13-2, AIC in front. So Calabrese, Sidney Jones, and Bailey Rule are up. And Post needs to get guys on base, and there you go. C&I single to start is a good way to get there. Again, for those unfamiliar, there is a mercy rule here in collegiate baseball and softball. In baseball, it is 10-run lead after 7 innings complete. For softball, it's 8-run lead after 5 innings complete. And right now, AIC with an 11-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th. So between this inning and next inning, Post has to make up 3 runs at least to keep this game alive. And they worked 2 runs in the second and a 1-2-3 inning in the third. But it was this kind of part of the lineup that got on base and started that the scoring cause for Post. Again, Jones a walk, Rule a walk. Couple wild pitches, double for Sapia to begin things in the second. So Jones has had a heck of a day on the road for batting .500 this year. Has helped herself out today. Walked in the second. Came around to score in that inning. Second of 2 runs. Off the handle and just muscles it out enough to get right past the dugout. And the dirt. And scampering into second base goes Calabrese on the wild pitch. Low for ball. 3 balls, 1 strike on Jones. In honor of MLB opening day tonight, we'll go through some predictions and who I think are going to win major awards and stuff. I think that should be fun. Again, this isn't betting advice or telling you to bet at all. Just kind of things I think might happen. I think Jose Ramirez finally gets an MVP this year. I think he's had multiple MVP caliber seasons over the past 5 to 7 years. But obviously when playing in the same league as Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani for a good stretch, it's hard to win those awards when you have those 2 guys. I think we'll have some Judge voter fatigue, plus I think he'll miss like a couple weeks here. That's my prediction. Jose Ramirez will win the AL MVP. National League MVP, it's hard to go against Shohei Ohtani. Especially if he's going to pitch this year, even if it's just in like 4 or 5 inning spurts. I'm going to say Ohtani picks up his 3rd straight NL MVP, his 4th MVP overall he's won. We'll go with that. Cy Young, I want to say Garrett Crochet because that would make me happy. So I'm going to. Garrett Crochet is going to win your American League Cy Young this year. I think he's going to strike out over 250 batters this year. I think he's going to push close to 3. I think they're going to really push him. I think he's going to have a close to 300 strikeout season like Chris Sale did a couple of years ago. 2-2 on Rule, who walked, almost scored in the second, and has been pitching the last couple of innings. McGurk is back up and throwing in the bullpen, so we might see Megan McGurk again. National League Cy Young, I think there's a couple different avenues you can go. Off the top of my head, without preparing this at all, I don't really have a guy in mind, but maybe we get back to there. Chris Sanchez is a popular pick. He just signed a big extension with the Phillies. I think he'll have a great year. Skeens, obviously, won it last year. Has had probably the best start to a pitching career in the modern era. Him, Drew Gooden, or Dwight Gooden. Drew Gooden played basketball. He didn't pitch very well in the major leagues due to him not pitching at all in the major leagues. But Dwight Gooden, Doc Gooden, he did. Freddie Peralta is always a sleeper pick. This one popped foul by the flagpole. You always have one of those Dodger guys come through. Yamamoto a full season again. Does Tyler Glasnow keep it healthy? Blake Snell's not going to be healthy this year, but he seems like to remind everyone that he can be the best pitcher on the planet every once in a while as the bases are loaded for Post with no outs. As now the fourth walk given up by Lambert. Loads him up for Martinez, who grounded out to first base. Burns, a 3 unassisted her first time up. So I guess my official National League Cy Young pick. Let's go with Chris Sanchez. Was a top 3 finisher last year. No Zach Wheeler this year. I think he'll pitch phenomenally. I think they're going to see that rise in the number 2 into number 1 with Wheeler out for most of this year, if not all of this year. We'll give it to him. A couple good guys in the National League. It's less cut and dry. American League, it seems like it's either going to be Skubal or Crochet. 2 of the top lefties in the game. So we'll go Garrett Crochet. We'll go Chris Sanchez. 2 lefties in the East divisions for my Cy Young pick. Rookie of the Year. We'll start with the National League first. We'll go Sal Stewart. I think he's a guy who has a real nice bat, plays in a very offensively friendly park. He had some real good stretches late last year, which were able to kind of get him going. And this is going to fall in front of Romalo, who's come back into the game. 1 run will score. The second one on its way. Trying for third is Rule. They'll rule her out. And a single for Martinez. 2 runs score. And now Post's trying to extend this game. Couple runs score. Martinez gets into second on the throw. Rule is out. That is a 8-5 putout. So here we go. 2 outs in the inning. Or 1 out in the inning, excuse me. And lofted into left field. Playable there by Pedraza Peda. So Sal Stewart, my American League National League Rookie of the Year pick. I believe Carter Jensen has rookie eligibility. If he does, it's Carter Jensen. That's my pick. Carter Jensen is a dude that hits the ball hard, and often he hits it hard. In a doubles park in Kansas City, to move the walls in a little bit to help Pasquantino and Jack Caglione, but it's going to help Carter Jensen too. So I believe he does have rookie eligibility. If he doesn't, then it could be anyone. Who knows? But I'm going to go with Carter Jensen, my American League Rookie of the Year pick. 13-4. AIC with the 9-run lead over Post. 2 strikes on Searles. Grounder to the pitcher, and that will do it for the 4th inning. So AIC looking to add some insurance, but they could end it in the 5th. Post. Bats came alive a little bit here. 2 runs in the 2nd, 2 runs in the 4th. They have 4, still down by almost double digits. in the 5th inning as we are potentially coming to the close on this one. Again, mercy rule in effect. So if AIC doesn't score any runs, but Post doesn't either, this game would be over after the 5th, but we have to get there to get there, if you know what I mean. It's going to be Augusta, Trejo, and Burns, barring any substitutions. We already had a substitution as Maya Strumskis came in and lined out in Romalo's spot in the 4th. Romalo went back into center field. Again, McGurk back up warming. You can re-enter in softball. It's not like baseball where you come out the game and you're out the game. As the changed speed, but kind of never was a competitive pitch. But with 2 strikes, a waste pitch is just fine in that spot. Flicked into right field. Martinez will watch it die in front of her. Zappi might have had a play, but gave on a little bit too quick. A single to begin the inning, the second of the day for Maryland Augusta. Started off 0 for 2. Was the only player to really not have a hit for a good stretch of things, but then picked up a single and then had a single in the 5th. A pinch hitter going to come in. We'll let you know who that is as soon as we figure it out. Meet Delaney Archer coming in, number 20. Into center field, but runner stayed put, waiting for that to drop, and then we'll get thrown out. So an unfortunate out for AIC. Delaney Archer still looking for that first hit, and still has to search for it because that's technically a fielder's choice. Down the line and foul. As Burns, who's having the best day of any hitter, and I don't think she's recorded an out yet. Burns 3 straight singles, has scored 2 runs, and has produced an RBI. Sent back foul. In the dirt, runners off. Archer is going to slide in with the pink gloves and all, right into second base on the wild pitch. Slapped right field, and that is towards the batting cages. I guess let's pick who the division winners in baseball are going to be. I'll go Yankees in the East. I think they have a year, and then they get bounced first round of the playoffs, and that really makes me happy. So let's give the Yankees fans a summer of bragging for another October of being sad. I think the Red Sox will get in the playoffs, either a second or third wild card. I think the Orioles are going to be good again. They definitely upgraded their pitching, got Big Bat, Pete Alonso, and a lot of their guys have kind of held it down. This is up through, could potentially be another run. They are going to hold Archer at third, though. A single for Burns, her fourth of Game 2, I believe her fifth total of the day. I believe the Central belonged to the Cleveland Guardians. I think this goes hand-in-hand with my Jose Ramirez MVP pick. I think, again, there'll be a pitcher no one's ever heard of that becomes nasty, like a Joey Cantillo or a Parker Mashayak. He's going to low-key have a top 10 Cy Young finish. They're going to, have some Cleveland Indians devil magic come through them, and they'll have a really good season. And I'll take Detroit as my last wild card team. I think that Kevin McGonigal is going to be a monster. But I can see the offense kind of sputtering a little bit. I mean, they have a good offense on paper. Gleyber Torres is a good hitter. Will give you 15 to 20 home runs. Will draw some walks. Colt Keith is a guy that they like a lot. What are you going to get out of Spencer Torkelson this year? Has gone with the pitch, so I believe a stolen base for Burns. So that could be a fun division race. The West is going to be interesting. I think the Athletics are going to be good, but are they playoff good? I think Seattle is the clear-cut favorite. Their rotation is potentially between 1 and 3 or 4 at worst case. As I think that's the first time we've seen a hit batsman when the pitch bounced in the dirt multiple times before. Bases remain loaded. I think the Athletics, the Sacramento Athletics, are going to be good. How good are they? Are they a sneaky playoff team? I think if I was a bolder man, I'd tell you they are. But I am not that bold of a man. In the National League, give me the Mets. The baseball's good when the Mets are good. Francisco Lindor, one of my favorite players. Juan Soto, probably my favorite non-Red Sox and potentially favorite player in the league. I love Juan Soto, always have. It wasn't great that year he was on the Yankees, but every other year I've been super happy watching him play. One of my favorite. Ted Williams from the Dominican Republic. They went and got Peralta. McLean's probably going to have a really good year. What are you going to get out of Jonah Tong? Does Clay Holmes have enough in the tank to give you a full season as your number 4, number 5 starter? I think that's good. I think the bullpen might be a little bit shaky. Devin Williams for Edwin Diaz. I do like Devin Williams, but didn't have a good year last year. But I think they get it done. I think the Phillies are obviously going to be a wild card team. I think they're very good as well. How much are you going to get from Zach Wheeler this season, if anything at all? The thoracic outlet surgery is one of the scarier ones a pitcher can get, especially a pitcher of his age. They definitely not going to start the season with the team, and it could be a while before we see him if we do at all, and that's going to be another run at least for AIC. Potentially 2. They got a runner in the rundown. No one covering third base, however, ball gets away. Another run will score. And that's going to be 2 runs on the single and then shenanigans for Belen Benito. I believe 1 run will go to her. The other one will be on the E2. And again, it's back to an 11-run lead for the Yellow Jackets. NL Central's interesting. I think a lot of people will expect the Cubs to be a playoff team again this year, if not be division winners. The Brewers, you always look at them and go, the Brewers aren't good. And then you look back in August, you're like, the Brewers are the second best team in the National League. I know that happens every year. I do like the Brewers. I love Pat Murphy, what he got going on there. Obviously, no Peralta hurts. Caleb Durbin being traded, I'm sure they can replace him just fine. I'm sure they have 45 Caleb Durbins in their farm system that no one's ever heard of. So we'll give it the Cubs with the another wild card slot going to the Brewers, and then the Dodgers are going to win the West. They're not a lock to win the World Series like a lot of people think they are. I don't think people realize how close the Dodgers were to not winning both of their World Series they just won. Baseball is a very, very fickle sport, and they almost lost against the Padres. I think the Padres are going to be good. I'd like the Padres to be good. Is their pitching staff going to be enough? Their starting rotation has like Michael King, who's like good, Nick Pivetta, who can be good, and then others. Like, who is San Diego's number 3 starter? Like, I think you're somewhat confident with. I think you're confident with King and Pivetta starting a playoff game for you, but who else? No Dylan Cease this year. Yu Darvish is out for the year. Not that Yu Darvish, I think, is much of a needle mover at 39 or however old he is. It's Galileo Pedraza Peta 0 for 2 with a walk. Yeah, so that's my predictions. Who comes out of the American League? I can see Baltimore doing it. I can see Baltimore coming. Obviously, I want to say the Red Sox come out, but I don't think I will. I'll say Baltimore makes a run in the playoffs. They're going to represent the American League in the World Series as Calabrese ranges over for the second out, sacrifice fly for Pedraza Peta, and the lead goes to 12. It's going to be McGurk coming back out, I think, for her second stint here, trying to get one more out. See if she can get it. We'll take a quick break, let her get warmed up, and we will be right back. And I'll let you know who's going to win the National League and eventually the World Series. So back in is McGurk. So her day's not finished. The book reopens and fires in a strike. Look at that. So the National League. Who comes out of the National League? It's probably going to be the Dodgers again. It's not the fun or sexy pick, but it probably is the pick. Now, any team can go out there and knock down some doors in the postseason. We saw Arizona do that a couple years ago, and Texas, both I think 6 seeds or 5 seeds, get to the World Series in 2023. A pretty fun World Series matchup. I enjoyed it. But it's probably going to be the Dodgers again. Did the Dodgers beat the Orioles in the World Series? Probably. But we'll put a pin in that as Salazar strikes out. A strikeout for McGurk as she comes back in, and we'll be back. It's a 12-run lead for AIC. They are skipping to the path of victory here in Waterbury. So Cody Shalfa back here, which could be our final half inning of play. Again, AIC holds a commanding 12-run lead over Post. Post, we need to get 4 runs in this inning to keep the game, or more than 5 runs this inning to keep the game alive. 16-4 AIC. We're just rewriting their offensive trajectory for the year. And a strike as Lambert still out there. 70 pitches so far, 42 for strikes, so a little bit over 50% strikes thrown. And picks up a strike here for Oliver. Seglia and DeBona here due up as Oliver flies out to the Naugatuck native patrolling center field. He's made a couple great grabs out there today. That one being one of them. Seglia here, a single line out, hit the ball hard 2 times, had a big double, not the game-winning double, but the game-sealing double, we'll call it. On the ground to third. Trejo back across the diamond, and we are down to our final out, ladies and gents. DeBona lined out twice. AIC trying to get back to Springfield with a split here at the midweek doubleheader. One of their final non-conference matchups. As through the rest of the year, it's all any 10 opponents. This is the last non-conference action of the season. They played Bridgeport a little bit over a week ago. And then obviously started the year in Florida like most teams do. Sharp on the ground and through. DeBona finally breaks through. I don't believe she had a hit in game 1. Let me double check that fact for you. She did not, so one of the few players without a hit that's played in both games. And now Sapia. Pop up. Is it playable? No, it is not. Towards the tent. That's housing some of our fine folks doing PA and stats and scoreboard, all that jazz. Always appreciative of all the staff here at Post. Cranked center field on a line over the head of Romello. One will try. The throw in is lollipopped and a double. Another one. As that's a big run. And that's Calabrese doubling to second. Excuse me, I've actually been a batter behind. My apologies. It was actually Biseglia who flied out, DeBona who grounded out. As that one is demolished, Jones a second time going deep. As she has been on fire today. Home run. She lands at home plate. And 16-7. Game's not over yet. But I was a batter behind, so it's actually Sapia with the single, Calabrese with the double, DeBona and Seglia got the outs, and then obviously Jones with a big fly, left field. Her second home run in as many games, and Post coming into play today as a team hit 1 home run. And now Jones picks up her first 2 of the season. So Rule, base is empty. Grounder. One ball, one strike. It's high. 2 balls, 1 strike as we approach 5:30 local time here in Waterbury, Connecticut. Cody Shalfo on the call. It's not over yet. Rule is down to her last strike, however. Lambert trying to finally close the door. Leaves it low. Good pitch, but doesn't get the chase. And they'll lose Rule. A walk. So after getting the first 2 on, it's been single, double, home run, walk. Lead the 5th given up, and Rule has walked 3 of those 5 times. And they will call to the bullpen to get the final out, as it's going to be number 11, Trinity LaValle, back out, asking to finish yet another game. She had some walk issues in the first one. We'll be back in a second as we try to complete this one here, potentially, with a big AIC lead. So after a quick dance break for the infield and some warm-up pitches for Trinity LaValle, we are back here trying to get one more out, AIC is, and with that out, would officially win via the mercy rule, but Post trying to keep this one going. They only need 2 more runs in this inning to guarantee at least a 6th. AIC probably now glad that they picked up those 3 runs in the 5th, because Post has already scored 3 runs here. And quickly down 0-2 is Tatiana Martinez. Up the middle, or actually to third base. Over to first, and put a bow on this one. Trejo makes the final out. Martinez ground out to third base. And that will do it for Game 2. We should be having player interviews after this one, so we won't wrap it up quite yet. But 16-7 in Game 2. AIC salvages the split post a much quicker 4-1 victory in Game 1. Game 2 goes to the Yellow Jackets as the Jackets conclude out-of-conference play. It'd be all NE10 from here on out. Taking a quick look at what Post has coming up. They do have St. Thomas Aquinas and Southern New Hampshire and Monroe University and Mercy, so a few more out-of-conference series. But the next couple will be all in the CACC. Chestnut Hill on Saturday, Goldie Beacom on Sunday, and then April 1st, it's at Caldwell for the Eagles. It's Franklin Pierce this weekend, and then Southern Connecticut on Tuesday, and then St. Michael's next weekend. So we will see you next time. Actually, we'll be back in a moment. We'll have player interviews coming up shortly. Cody Schaff will be right back, and then we'll sign off for reals after that. And we're back here. It's Sidney Jones' first 2-home run day for you. The bat really got going. I think you got on every single time. What were you seeing at the plate that kind of really helped you get going offensively today?
I stopped trying to, swing out of my boots. I just focused on seeing the ball down and trusting my hands would get there. And I think at my previous at-bats I'd get a little excited, but just staying patient and looking for a pitch I could take.
Right, and then defensively, you had a great day with Caitlin today. How fun is it when things are moving and you're calling the right pitches and everything's kind of moving that way defensively, and you have a really good, quick first game? How fun is that to call from behind the plate?
Kate threw a really great game, and it's just really fun, her energy and the whole team's energy just when we get together. So, when the vibes are high, you have no choice but to just keep it rolling and do good. So it was really fun to play with everyone.
All right, thank you so much, and I appreciate your time. We'll
Thank
see you next time, all right?
Yay, okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
She did way better than I'm going to do. Don't leave me.
All right.
It's going to be bad. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. And then here at Kate Limsky. Kate, you had a great first day in the circle, first game in the circle. You were a lot of strikeout stuff early. What was really working for you? A lot of the changeup. I saw you got a couple on the changeup. How was that feeling out of the hand today? And just kind of talk me through that first game for you.
It was a really good game. I was just feeling good with the spins and everything. But yeah, I like to throw the speed changes. I like to throw my curveball at some different speeds as well. And I really like to just kind of mix it up and not go back to back always with the same stuff. But I'm okay with going back to back with the changeup because that one's fun to watch.
Yeah, and then throughout the order, the strikeout stuff kind of waned, but you're just getting efficient outs. You, I think, only threw under 70 pitches here today. How important is it to kind of make those at-bats as quick as possible, keep your defense engaged, and kind of get in and out of the dugout as quick as possible for you?
Well, we know that they're going to hit the ball, so that's one thing. It's using your defense. Our defense has got to work, and if I put it where it's going to go, then they're expecting where it's going to be a ground ball or a fly ball, and it all works out, and we work as a team, and we get it done.
Well, you guys were so fun to watch today, you especially in Game 1. We appreciate your time. Have a good one, all right?
Thank you.
I'll take that from you. Thank you so much. So that's going to do it here from Lemoy Field. We appreciate everyone for watching today. AIC and Post do split. Post really fun. Game 1 win for them 4-1. A little bit of a blowout here in Game 2. 16 runs for AIC, their season high. Again, up next is just conference schedule.